All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been going over a series of video presentations. Actually, I've been creating a series of video presentations based on the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development series. I'm in the JavaScript section, and we're talking arrays right now. This is our second part of the array lecture. So, as far as some useful array methods, notice converting between arrays and strings, you can use the split method. So what this will do is this will take this string and it will convert it into an array where this is the 0th element, element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, and element 5. So we're telling it to split it based on the comma. So after the comma, the next thing is the next array element. All right. So they show some examples of that in here. You can go the opposite way by using join. What join does is it takes an array and converts it into a string. If you don't want to use join, you can use the toString method. Both of these would result in the same thing, a string that looks like this. Now, in some programming languages, instead of calling it like split and join, they call it explode and implode. All right, but the ideas are the same. Adding and removing array items. Well, notice that if you want to add to the end of an array, you say push, and that puts it on the end. If you want to remove from the end of the array, you say pop. So push and pop to work to either add items to the end of an array or remove items from the end of an array. All right. If you want to go in the other direction, there's unshift and shift. So they work the same way push and pop do, except unshift will unshift will add an element to the beginning of the array. Shift will remove the first element of the array. All right. So it says here, printing these products. Before we do this, I just want to mention too, going back to that Hunlock series, this is, I think, the kind of the quintessential thing on mastering JavaScript arrays. And then afterwards, there's the thing in here that has the major methods. I know it's in here someplace. There we go. Okay. And the ones you'll probably end up using are shown on here. You can click on it. You can click on the one that says every, and there are examples of I believe of all of the ones that are shown there in here. Now, one thing to realize is this, again, this is probably this Hunlock thing, although it's got 22 April of 2021 in there. I don't know the last time it was actually updated. See, filed Sunday in 2007, so we're talking 14 years ago. All right, so if there are new things, they may or may not be shown in here, just so you're aware of that. All right, so jumping back, active learning. It says, let's return to the example we described earlier, printing out the product names and prices on an invoice, then totaling the prices and printing them out on the bottom. In the editable example below are comments containing numbers. Each of these marks a place where you have to add the code. All right, so below number 1 are a number of strings, each one containing a product name separated by a semicolon. We want you to turn this into an array and store it in an array called products. So string products equals join. Well, what do we want to do? Which way are we going here? We want to turn this into an array. And since we want to turn it into an array, the split method returns substrings between the separator as items in an array. So I think that's the one that we want to use. So the split method. So split, and we're splitting it based off of the comma. Sorry. All right. Well, let's look. Number of strings, each one containing a product name and a price separated by a colon. We want to turn this into an array and store it into an array called products. So in here, we used this example. All right, where we took this and we did the split. All right, I was a little confused over what they were asking here, so I went right down to the solution, and this is what we want. Okay, so the first thing that was in here, we wanted to take this, where is it? Well, I guess I've got the answer up there now. We wanted to take this and convert it into an array, all right, and split it based on the colon. So to do that, it's let products equal. We make this an array. All right, so that's the first thing we wanted to do, was we set it up now as an array. Then we wanted to do the split based on the colon. All right. Let name equals subarray sub 0. Let price equals number subarray 1. So what this is going to do right here is it's basically going to break it up into the equivalent of two different arrays with what we're doing here. The first one will have in there underpants, socks, t-shirt, trousers, and shoes. The second one will have $6.99, $5.99, $14.99, $31.99, and $23.99. All right, so that's what we're doing, setting it up there and then splitting it here. All right, then for the price, since that's just got the prices, this line right here is going to loop through and add $6.99 plus $5.99 plus $14.99 plus $31.99 plus $23.99. All right, and then we will have the name of the element followed by a dash, followed by a $sign, followed by its price. So again, that's going to end up creating this, and then your total. All right. Now, nothing wrong with the exercise. I just found it a little bit confusing. Sorry about that. So let's look at the next one here. A good use for array methods like push and pop is when you're maintaining a record of currently active items in a web app. In an animated scene, for example, you might have an array of objects representing the background graphics currently displayed, and you might want only 50 displayed at once. for performance typically reasons. As new objects are added and created, the older ones can be deleted from the array to maintain the desired number. In this example, we're going to show a much simpler use. You might be able to hear this. I am now home, creating this from home. So here we're giving you a fake search site with a search box. The idea is when terms are entered into the search box, the top 5 previous are displayed in the list. When the number goes over 5, the last one being deleted each time the new term is at the top. So it's a way, as we go through this, when you look here, item 1, let's see how they do it in here. So add a new thing below item 1. So in here, all right, we were to add a line below that adds the current value entered into the search. So again, since we're using push and pop, we would be using push in there. And here to remove the item from the end of the array, I'm sorry, this would be adding it to the end of the array. And to remove it from the end of the array, we'd be using pop. So if we look at the solutions here, it's pretty simple, really. And maybe I got the wrong order, but I guess they're using unshift and they're using pop. All right. Sorry about that. Like I said, no excuses. All right. Go over the test your skills if you get the time. All right. And what's left here is the assessment, this silly story generator. All right. And you can see it right there. So I will come back and take a quick look at that in just a couple moments.